Our next panelist is Juan, who has more than 15 years of experience in hospitality industry. He worked with the brands like Accor and Four Seasons, and at the moment he's a senior VP of investment at Pontiac Land Group, which is a real estate company providing development services for luxury brands. Some of the hotel brands under their management are Capella Singapore, Regent Singapore, Ritz-Carlton, Maldives, and Capella Sydney, and others. An amazing opportunity for all of us to have a different view on this challenge from a hotel's investor perspective.
Hi, Anna. Thank you very much for the introduction, and great to meet all of you virtually. There's an amazing amount of feedback and advice that's been given, and I just hope we can share at least some wise advice from our perspective. I'm coming from a slightly different angle. We're, as Anna mentioned, we're a developer based in Singapore. We've been historically building real estate in Singapore for the best part of almost 60 years. And over the past decade or so, I've started to expand overseas. We're developing an integrated destination in the Maldives, which is 70% complete. It consists of 3 different resorts and a purpose-built staff island with about 1,200 staff, altogether about 270 villas. And so we're about 70% completion. So you can just imagine the amount of interrogation and questions that are going through our mind given the current crisis. Concurrently, we're developing in 2 heritage buildings in downtown Sydney, CBD. One will consist of a 200-key luxury hotel, and the other one a luxury lifestyle destination. This is probably about 20% into construction with planned opening. It's slightly different to a number of the views and perspective that other panelists have shared. We obviously slightly longer, medium term and longer term view, and share with everyone here the initiatives that we have implemented and that I think at least are helping us, and some positive spins as well, which I think is quite crucial to keep in this difficult time. So in terms of the initiatives that we have implemented, key for us is to be able to continue construction, as opposed to day-to-day operations, and this involves a lot of business continuity programs, which we have rolled out internally as a company, but we're also soliciting from our business partners, so the people that help us build these hotels, the consultants that help us design these destinations, as well as the engineers who advise us on all these solutions. And it's key for us that all the stakeholders involved in these projects have business continuity programs involved, just because of the size of these projects and because of the importance, the economic and financial imports in these projects. We can't afford to have team getting sick and just completely being unable to work with us. And so this is something we've implemented. And as I mentioned, we've communicated actively about with all our partners and continue to do so. I think we're based in Singapore, and Singapore continues to implement measures, and so we're trying to learn and spread our best practices. So that's one of the initiatives we've been doing. The second one is contingency planning. We've worked with the team actively to find plan Bs, plan Cs. We work with different people, and I have to say everyone has been very helpful in these difficult times, and it's been a lot of helping hands to actually help resolve issues and help solve problems. But we continue to plan, even though it may be unnecessary. But we do plan multiple scenarios and try to plan ahead for the next couple of weeks and as well as a couple of months. I think this has been mentioned a few times by other panelists, but I think active communication is key, is critical. All of us, I imagine, spend a lot of time on video conferences, and it's been humbling to just speak with everyone and make sure that everyone is listened to, everyone is heard, everyone has a voice, and people are taken care of. And there's a few things that I've heard that I want to repeat as well. I think leading by example is key during these times of crisis, and showing confidence, showing optimism is really something that's quite important. I think it's during these tough moments that company culture can be strengthened. It's during these tough moments that you learn the most, and so we're trying to draw this collectively, not only within the team at Project Land, but also within all the various peoples that are involved in the project. And the other thing I'll mention is post crisis planning. It's been mentioned a couple of times, but we're also already thinking about how we're going to get out. What does this world look like in a post COVID situation? So I think we're already starting to think about how, from a sales and marketing, we can relaunch. And I think there's a lot of technical solutions that we're looking at exploring for that purpose. We're looking at how social distancing and how that may become a new norm for the foreseeable future. We're looking at transparency and accountability vis-a-vis employees, vis-a-vis guests, and how guests will probably expect a lot more information about health and safety, and about how you manage things in a post-crisis world. But a few positive spins, I think. I mean, it's been mentioned, and I'll probably repeat a few of them. But I think this is a great opportunity to be creative, to just relook at your entire cost structure and think about what is really essential to your business. I think it's a great opportunity to adopt new business practices, just like we're doing right now, and thinking about how this can be implemented not only during times of crisis, but over during normal times. I mentioned about team strengthening. We spent a lot of time as a team getting together and listening to each other and caring for each other. I think the last thing I will say is that we have looked at this market from a long-term perspective when we planned and studied the feasibility of this product. And one of the key reasons that we invested in and we continue to invest in the tourism industry, it's for its ability to bounce back, for its ability to be resilient. Just as it's very sensitive to shocks and waves, and it's on the downturn, it's also very quick to bounce back when things get better. And couldn't agree more with things mentioned by Thibaut and some other people on this call, that the industry will bounce back. We've seen this with the tsunami in 2004. We've seen this with the GFC. We've seen this with various events that have occurred in destinations like Bali, like Phuket, like Maldives, or at least this part of the world. And it takes, worst case, it takes 1 to 2 years to bounce back to the average trend line on a 10-year average. And so that's the perspective we're taking. We're fortunate that we can take this more medium to long-term perspective, but we think that eventually people will come back to traveling. The industry will swing back, and we have to look ahead and plan for these times to come back, and think about how we can then do things differently as an industry together to prevent such things, or to mitigate such risks from happening again. That's it. Thank you.